Hello and welcome. I'm the Disability Diva, and yes, I'm disabled. I decided to do a deep Diva dive video just to give you a bit of information and some insight into my journey as to how I got to where I am now, my motivation behind creating this channel, and my goals and aspirations for it. So, I was born and raised in Melbourne, Australia, just over half a century ago, but don't tell anyone. I graduated high school in 1989 and then went on to university to complete my nursing degree. I worked in nursing for 11 years, spending most of that time in a surgical ward setting, and then moved on to do some additional qualifications and spent another 2 years working in intensive care. I then decided it was time for a career change. I then went on and opened my own business within the beauty industry. I spent the next 15 years running that business and raising my two beautiful Diva daughters. It was during this time in 2014 that I was diagnosed with psoriatic arthritis. This caused me a great deal of pain and fatigue as I struggled to continue to work to support my family. I managed to work for a further 3 years before I was no longer able to do so. Having no other options, I needed to have an income. The only thing that was available to me was to apply for the disability support pension. At this point in time, I was completely clueless as to where to start, who to ask, what was available. I was completely unaware of the support services that were churning away under the surface of our community that were provided by the disability services. I will be dedicating an entire video on discovering and accessing these local support services in the near future, so if that's of any interest to you, hit that subscribe button and turn on all the notifications so you'll be alerted when that new video comes out. Moving along, as extensive and supportive as those local disability services have been, they are limited in their funding. Their funding is designed basically for interim and short-term disability care. They're limited by the amount of money that they can dedicate to one individual, regardless of the level of care that they need. Once you exceed their capabilities, then it becomes necessary for you to look up upgrading from state to federally funded service providers into the NDIS. NDIS officially stands for the National Disability Insurance Scheme, insurance being the operative word. In the last 18 months, I've spent an immeasurable amount of time and effort trying to access the much needed services that only the NDIS can provide. I've now reached the final stages of my ongoing battle, and my final hearing will be at the end of October of this year in 2023. I'll keep you updated in further videos. Yes, have also allowed me once again to gain a great deal of knowledge along the way regarding their application process, their guidelines, their policies, procedures, their legislature and the appeals pathways. I've included dealing with the Administrative Appeals Tribunal, the Commonwealth Ombudsman, Quality and Safeguards Commission, just to name a few. It was midway through this journey that I became aware that the only person that was able to advocate on my behalf was me, despite me applying to many different services. Disabilities come in all different shapes and sizes, and thankfully I'm not yet cognitively impaired, although my family might beg to differ. But it occurred to me the difficulty that I have faced in my application process for the last 18 months. How would someone that was cognitively impaired cope with navigating this difficult and confusing process? So, hence my motivation in creating this channel. If I can share any of my knowledge in assisting others to access the services that they require, it's completely free to subscribe, and it's my aim to continue to build upon the foundations that I've built so far in an attempt to create a comprehensive, interactive and useful community resource, not only for the disability sector, but for their carers as well. I hope to deal with everything disability related, and that includes companion animals, of which I have 4 beautiful feline fur babies, which you will get to meet along the way, no doubt. I'd also love to hear from you. I'd like to hear of any suggestions for topics that you might like me to include, so leave them in the comments section below. Thank you for taking the time out to listen to me, and if you know of anyone that might benefit in any way from the current or intended content of the Disability Diva channel, the only way for me to get that information out there is with your help, by liking and sharing the videos on this channel. And remember, you don't have a disability, you just have a different ability. Until next time, Diva out.
It's the Disability Diva. She don't like Centrelink neither.